Hello friends, welcome to a new episode of Drishti IAS Editorial Analysis. In this editorial analysis, we do three things. First of all, we link the editorial to the UPSC syllabus. Secondly, we try to understand the key points of the editorial. And thirdly, if any key concepts have come in the editorial and are important from exam point of view, we also discuss them. So let us begin today's editorial analysis.
Dear viewer, this video is available in Hindi as well. If you wish to watch it, please visit our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS. For your convenience, the link for this video in Hindi has been provided in the description below.
We have taken today's editorial from the Hindu and it has come on 18th of September. The title of the editorial is A Push for Reform and it says that the United Nations must change to reflect the altered geopolitical realities in order to stay relevant. Now let us look at its linkage with the UPSC syllabus. So we find that it links directly with GS paper 2, where we have international relations as one of the important areas of the syllabus. And under this, it links directly with the important international institutions. So after establishing the linkage with the syllabus, now let us look at its key points. So before moving on to the key points of the editorial, let us try to know something about United Nations and its various organizations, and also why UN reforms are so much needed. So United Nations, or UN as it is popularly known, was founded in 1945 and the UN Charter was signed by 50 countries which met in San Francisco in United States. Currently United Nations has 193 member states and here the latest member to join in 2011 was South Sudan. This is also important from exam perspective and we should be knowing this. Now what are the activities of United Nations for which it was formed? So the main activity, because it was formed after World War II, was to maintain international peace and security, to uphold international law, to deliver humanitarian aid wherever needed, to protect human rights, and to promote sustainable development. Now, which are the main organs of United Nations? So, there are 6 main organs which were formed along with the UN in 1945. The first one is General Assembly, also known as UNGA, which is United Nations General Assembly. The second one is United Nations Security Council, the most powerful organ of the United Nations. The third one is the Economic and Social Council. The fourth one is Trusteeship Council, which has ended its operations in 1994. The fifth one is International Court of Justice. And the sixth one is the UN Secretariat, which is headed by the UN Secretary General, who is currently Antonio Guterres, who is from Portugal. Now let us see what are the challenges which are being faced by the United Nations. So first of all, it has been paralyzed by the great power rivalry and the financial difficulties that it is facing. Secondly, there has been substantial multilateralism which has shifted to groupings such as G7 and G20 because the United Nations has been somewhat slow in responding to the global challenges. And thirdly, the smaller and poorer countries are feeling marginalized within the international system. And that is why United Nations reforms are that much more critical because United Nations is the only international organization which has almost all the countries as its members. Now let us see why there is need for reforming the UN system. First of all, the changed geopolitical situation because United Nations was established in 1945 and it reflects the geopolitical realities of the post-Second World War period. And since then, things have changed. The countries like UK and France are now not much powerful, while other countries have gained in prominence and which are not represented in the permanent membership of the UN Security Council. Some regions such as South America and Africa are totally unrepresented in the UN Security Council permanent members. So this geopolitical situation which has changed since the post-Second World War period needs to be taken into account. Secondly, there has been an increase in the membership of UN which has grown to 193 member states, whereas the UN Security Council, which is the major organ of United Nations, has been expanded only once in 1963 when 4 non-permanent members were added to it. Right now, UN Security Council has 15 members, of which 5 are permanent and 10 are non-permanent. So this also needs to change. Thirdly, there is inequitable economic and geographic representation. While Europe as a continent is overrepresented, Asia is underrepresented, and continents like Africa and South America have no representation at all among the 5 permanent members of UN Security Council. Fourthly, the UN system is also facing a crisis of legitimacy and credibility, as the UN Security Council has not been able to fully act as per its mandate, and there have been occasions when countries have engaged in extraterritorial action against other countries without UN Security Council's permission. Finally, there are a lot of emerging issues which requires building of consensus, and this needs UN to be representative and to give a voice to all the member states, and that is why reforms are critical. Now let us look at the 5 issues that have been identified by the UN General Assembly for UN Security Council reforms. The first one is categories of membership, which is at present divided between permanent and non-permanent members. Secondly, the issue of veto power, whether the new members should be given the veto powers or it should be taken away from all the members. Thirdly, about the regional representation, whether the UN Security Council is able to represent all the areas of the world. Fourthly, the size of the enlarged council and its working methods, because there is a concern that if the Security Council is expanded, then how it will affect its functioning. And fifthly, the working relationship between UN Security Council and the United Nations General Assembly. So these are the areas that have been highlighted by UN General Assembly for reforms in UN Security Council. So after this brief background, now let us look at the key points of the editorial. Now let us look at the key points of the editorial. So the editorial basically talks about the need for reforms in the United Nations. And it says that the UN must change to reflect the altered geopolitical realities in order to stay relevant in the present times. Because we have to realize that the UN system was created in the aftermath of Second World War, and it reflects the geopolitical realities as were evident in 1945. And since then, a lot of things have changed. And as the 75th session of the United Nations General Assembly commences, there is an urgent need being felt for internal reforms in the United Nations and its agencies. And this is more true in the case of the 15-member United Nations Security Council, which has 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. The 5 permanent members, or P5 as they are known, also exercise veto power, which is also a subject of much debate and concern, as it takes away from the democratic character of the United Nations. And the editorial also says that the 15-member United Nations Security Council needs to become more democratic as well as it needs to become more representative. And this long overdue demand for reforms in the United Nations Security Council have been raised especially by the G4 countries, and here we should know which are the G4 countries. So the G4 countries include India, Brazil, Germany and Japan, and they have been advocating for the expansion of the UN Security Council and wanting to be included in the UN Security Council as the permanent members. But this demand of the G4 countries has been opposed by the Coffee Club countries, which include the regional rivals of the G4 countries. For example, India is being opposed by Pakistan, Brazil is being opposed by Argentina, similarly Germany is being opposed by Italy and Spain, and the candidature of Japan is being opposed by Australia. The editorial further says that the United Nations Security Council needs to become more representative and more democratic. For it to become more representative, there needs to be an expansion in the Security Council. That means the number of members need to increase and all the geographies of the world needs to be represented in the UN Security Council, especially among the permanent members. Where at present Europe is overrepresented, Asia is underrepresented, and continents like Africa and South America have no representation at all. For UN Security Council to become more democratic, there needs to be curtailing of the veto power which is at present enjoyed by the P5 members, and it is often misused by the P5 members for their own vested interest. Also, the editorial says that this veto power seems to be out of place in the modern world, which is based on democratic values. Further, the editorial talks about the need for UN reforms have gained momentum after the unilateral declaration of war by US and UK against Iraq in 2003, based on flimsy evidence of weapons of mass destruction. And this declaration of the unilateral war prompted many other countries to take up the issue of reforms in the UN Security Council so that it can take effective action in such times. And finally, United Nations General Assembly in 2008 decided to facilitate reform process in the United Nations through the Intergovernmental Negotiations Framework, or IGN as it is known. Now, this Intergovernmental Negotiations Framework, or IGN, is a group of nation states working within the United Nations to further reform the United Nations Security Council. And it is composed of several different international organizations such as the African Union or AU, the G4 nations, the Coffee Club, which is also known as Uniting for Consensus Group, the L69 group of developing countries, the Arab League, and the Caribbean Community, also known as CARICOM. Further, the editorial says that the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution in 2015 to allow these intergovernmental negotiations on the basis of a framework document. But nothing much came out of it, as the P5 members, especially US, Russia, and China, were opposed to any serious reforms of the United Nations Security Council. Also, the G4 countries have expressed their dissatisfaction with the IGN as it has been painfully slow. Also, now, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the process has been deferred. Finally, the editorial talks about India's vision for UN reforms, and it says that India wants UN to reflect the changed geopolitical scenario and not remain tied to the 1945 global order. Secondly, India also feels that the multilateral framework faces unprecedented challenge to fashion a collective response to the humanity's biggest problems such as global warming and now the corona pandemic. And all of these challenges require consensus building and to take all the countries together. And for this, there is an urgent need for UN and its agencies to reform themselves and allow all the countries of the world to have a say in the formulation of global policies which are respected and accepted by all the countries of the world. And this can happen only in a reformed United Nations and a reformed United Nations Security Council. So this was all in the key points of the editorial. Now let us look at what kind of questions can be asked in prelims and mains. So in prelims, the question can be directly on the United Nations. When was it formed? So it was formed in 1945. Which are the main organs of the United Nations? So 6 main organs of the United Nations which were established at the time of its formation. Then question can also be asked about United Nations Security Council, about its membership, how many permanent members and how many non-permanent members, the veto power, G4 countries, Coffee Club countries, and so on. Also, we should be clear about the Intergovernmental Negotiations Framework and when was it established. So it was established in 2008. UN Security Council is also more important this year because India has been elected to UN Security Council as a non-permanent member for the 8th time. And India's term will begin in January 1, 2021, and this will be a 2-year term. And India has been elected from the Asia Pacific group. So we should be knowing all these facts. In mains, the question can be asked like why there is an urgent need for UN or UNSC reforms and what are the challenges in this reforms process. Another question can be asked about India's case for permanent membership of United Nations Security Council, what are the arguments in favor of it and what goes against India's permanent membership claims. So we should be prepared on these kind of questions. So this was all in today's editorial analysis. We'll see you next time with another editorial. Thank you.